Here with another ship's roster review. Today I'm going to be looking at Unreal's fleet. So, Unreal, let's take a look at your capital ships. First, I see you have the Chimera, which is excellent for what I'm going to be suggesting. I see you've been working on Akbar, which is cool. That will be helpful in territory battles. And you do need to work on getting it up a little bit more, level 85 and 7 star, in order to get the 7 star Chimera. So I would probably put a little bit more work into its abilities. I don't know exactly how much you should do. You might be about right on a lot of this. Maybe put a little bit more work into Band Together, that's the main one, in order to get a 7 star Chimera. But once you have a 7 star home one and you think your home one's good enough to get a 7 star Chimera, I would put either more work into the Chimera's abilities here. I would especially, maybe even immediately before doing more work on the home one, uh, max out Fierce Loyalty. Uh, it's essentially the unique or a leadership ability for your fleet. And it will give all your Empire allies and all your allies extra buffs, which is super nice, like extra critical damage. All the capital ships have at least one ability like this, and this is generally the ability that you want to max out as soon as possible on the capital ship, just because it will overall for your fleet be a bit more beneficial. If you want to work on the others, go ahead and do that as well. However, I'm also seeing one fleet commander here who's kind of lacking. Your Grand Moff Tarkin. I think you could gear him up, get Tarkin himself to level 85. Mods are looking decent on him, so don't worry about that. And work on its abilities. This is the main one you're lacking on again here. Get up victory at all costs. Get up these abilities overall. Executrix for some of the fleets I'm going to be suggesting you earlier will be the capital ship you'll need in the future. On top of that, it's the second best capital ship in the game. It is, even though you're normally going to use Chimera, there is one section of the territory battles that requires you to use 2 fleets on dark side, because the dark side fleets it has an extra event to earn some guild event tokens, so Executrix is helpful there. Overall, you might even want to use Executrix over Chimera occasionally in territory battles to help ensure the win, although either one is really decent. So now let's go to what I think your overall fleet should be. So based on the ships you currently have, I think your 2 go-tos for starting 3 are going to be TIE Advance and Biggs. Biggs is going to be your tank, and TIE Advance will be a damage dealer you have out there. Now, when you go with these two, with the Chimera, there are 2 traditional ships to use with it as the third option. You have Ghost or Imperial TIE Fighter. I personally, for the longest time, used Imperial TIE Fighter until I finally switched to Geos. However, the Ghost, I hear, is a really good ship. Also, I think the TIE Silencer is a good ship with these 3 as well. However, only on attack. The TIE Silencer doesn't hold up as well on defense, which is why you want another option. However, feel free to continue using TIE Silencer on the offensive. But Ghost and Imperial TIE Fighter, either one of those would hopefully hold up better on defense. What Imperial TIE Fighter will do for you, even though its dodge rate has been decreased since Ships 2.0 came out, it's still annoying. And on top of that, he can get a foreshore dodge off of his, is it control? No, it's TS8 targeting computer. So you would want to use that ability first, even though you won't be getting the debuff with it, so that you could get the foreshore dodge off of it. The other option is Ghost here. Again, I haven't used the Ghost fleet, but I hear it's rather good, and I've suggested it to some of the others, and they've given me positive feedback. The goal with using Ghost over Imperial TIE Fighter is to put your TIE Advanced in stealth, causing a false taunt on your Bigs. Using, what ability is it? Static Jammer here. It calls another ally and some rebel allies, so you would get all three of your ships attacking, which would deal quite a bit of damage. And your TIE Advance could not be attacked because it's under stealth. However, for using either one of these, you are going to need to gear up the pilots for these ships. Ghost Crew is pretty good. They should be helpful in other areas of the game, like territory battles and other PvP areas. So that's excellent. And considering one of the reinforcements I'm about to suggest, you might as well put them up so that you have a good Phoenix team to use if need be. And Imperial TIE Fighter, I do occasionally throw him in other parts of the game, especially territory battles with just an Empire team, and he works well. You would want to get him up to level 85, which hopefully shouldn't be too bad. I've noticed that you have a really good arena team. You're able to get in the top 10. So if you just start treating ships like that, now that maybe you can move away from focusing on arena as much, hopefully you can get up to the same point. Now we need to look at your reinforcements, since we have your main three of TIE Advanced Bigs, and then TIE Silencer on offense, and then Ghost or Imperial TIE Fighter, which can also be used on offense if you so choose. Now, the first go-to reinforcement I tell anyone is Phantom 2. However, for you currently, there's a problem, because Phantom 2 is mainly useful on offense if you have on reinforcements, if you have Covert Strike maxed out. So this is going to be the first reinforcement ability you want to focus in putting all the abilities in. And trust me, it is worth it. I did it myself, and I have seen a nice difference since I did it. And what's really important here is the reduced cooldown of call reinforcement on allied capital ship, because it will help you swarm the other side. The other really important ability here is Maximum Impact, which you have a Gear 12 Ezra, which means you should probably work on maxing this out. It will get plus 20% damage and give you increased critical chance up if you max out all the way to 8. However, because you're using this ship, you also want to work on gearing up your Sabine and Chopper if you want eventually their abilities just to make it a better ship. But at least gearing up these two should hopefully cause Maximum Impact to deal more damage, because this can deal up to 100k in damage and basically instantly wipe up a ship. So you call in as a reinforcement using Maximum Impact while also reducing your reinforcement cooldown, killing off one of their ship and hopefully swarming them faster, which is why Phantom 2 is super important and why you want it as your reinforcement. Now let's take a look at your other reinforcement options here. You currently don't have too much, but you do have the Slave 1. Slave 1's decent. It comes out on taunt, so it's a semi-tank, even though it's classified as an attacker if you're using it as a reinforcement. I see you haven't maxed all the way out, so you probably want to use that. If you want, work on getting him Gear 12 since you appear to be using him. But he should hopefully help out. So go ahead and put Slave 1 on it. Now, what are some other options here? I don't know much about Kylo Ren's command shuttle, so I'm just currently going to skip over that. However, I believe when Ships 2.0 came out, Warrior or some of the other guys put out a really good video on First Order. I'm hopefully going to look into them and learn more about them soon. But for other possible reinforcements, I'm seeing TIE Reaper. What I like about TIE Reaper as a reinforcement is it has 3 things going on here that make it super good. Well, actually 4, but 3 things in terms of its reinforcement as being a reinforcement. So First off is remove 10% turn meter from all enemies. So your enemies are going to be moving slower. Next, it's going to inflict defense down on all enemies for 2 turns. That means your damage output's going faster, which means you're wiping them off the board faster. That's really nice. On top of that, once you max it out, all allies gain 10% turn meter. Compared to the 10% turn meter, this is a for sure increase in turn meter. Whereas this can be resisted. The removed 10% turn meter can be resisted. So you're going to end up, if all enemies have 10% turn meter removed, you're going to end up having a 20% turn meter advantage. And on top of that, you're going to probably be able to kill 1 or 2 of their ships pretty quick because they now have defense down. And the other thing I love about him on reinforcements is Imperial support. Not Imperial support, heavy interference. Heavy interference is awesome because it allows you to dispel all buffs. So if someone brings out Boba Fett, Slave 1, you can then bring in TIE Advance and just clear off all the buffs and just not have to worry about the annoyance and all the damage Slave 1 puts out as he's countering. So I suggest you having this ship on your reinforcements. And you do have both the characters gear 11. You could even work on getting them gear 12 as they are useful in other areas of the game. Like Death Trooper is needed for Sith Raid for Chex Mix team. So that's the third reinforcement I suggest you getting. Phantom 2, work on immediately getting up its ability, TIE Reaper and Slave 1. Now, choosing a fourth one is a little bit harder. You have Poe Dameron, which is nice. He's not 7-star yet, but he still works. You almost have his ability maxed out here. But again, I told you focus on the other thing. But Poe Dameron's nice because he's great for taking out annoying TIE fighters. So you're welcome to use him. The problem right now is you generally want, though Slave 1 works, you generally want an actual tank on as a reinforcement. And there's only 2 other super great tanks and ships. There's Houndstooth and Sun Fact, and neither of them are too high right now. So I would suggest working on either one of them or both of them. Get Sun Fact up 7-star. Continue working on Boss. Get Looks Like You Are. Get him up to gear 11, gear 12, 7-star. And then farm the Houndstooth up to 7-star. But I think in the meantime, Poe Dameron works. If you want to put some work into Rogue One, Cassian G-Wing, I hear is a very good reinforcement. But Poe should definitely be useful in case you're encountering a lot of TIE fighters. If you want to put Millennium Falcon or Kylo Ren on there, feel free to try out some things. But from what I know, Poe is one that's generally used, and he will be another decent attacker for you to be bringing in. What I think you also need to be thinking about, Unreal, is since you're doing really well in Squad Arena right now, I think you need to focus on trying to get more meta teams and ships now. And though the team I suggested to you currently is good, it's not full out meta. It's more like, I guess, maybe CLS in the current meta, or it's like third tier meta team. Like, it can compete, but it's not the best. So what other teams are there? The other teams there are Geos and Bounty Hunters. For either one, you want to have Houndstooth. Houndstooth is a phenomenal tank and ships, so you want to level 85 this, get Bosk up, 7-star it. As it can be used at 3-star, it's really easy to defeat at 3-star, so you really do want 7-star, because that's when Houndstooth becomes annoying. So farm the Houndstooth, no matter what. Next Xanadu Blood's not free to play yet, but if you want to go the Bounty Hunter route and gear up Cad Bane and Bossk, work on 7-starring your Cad Bane. And also, if you're going to want to go that route, your Brigading Fleet is going to be Houndstooth, Xanadu Blood, Ghost. So no matter what, you're going to want to gear the Ghost. The other current option, I don't know how well the fleet I just suggested you deals against them. I believe it's able to beat them, but you can go the Geos route. Most people I don't emphasize this with because they're very worried and it'll take them off track, but it looks like to me, Unreal, comparatively to other people, you can probably go this route and not be worried as much as getting off track. What you need to do is you need to 7-star your Geos. Most of these guys are really easy to farm. You can farm Sunfact in the ship store. You can farm Geonosian Soldier and real quick in Cantina, and you can farm, forget where you can farm Geospy. But they should all be really easy farms to get up to 7-star, and they'll be worth it, trust me. I'm currently using Geos in Arena. I was using a similar fleet to what I suggested to you earlier. However, once you start seeing Geos more prominent in your arena, if you haven't already, then you're going to start having a more difficult time. So you need at least Geos to compete with Geos. And these ships are excellent. When you do get them up, you're going to want to focus on getting their uniques up, like Grudge. That's going to be most important. Uniques, then basics, and then specials is how you want to do it for gearing up their abilities, for leveling up their abilities. Sunfact's the only one that I would say is worth getting up the reinforcement ability on in case you want to use it as a backup tank on other teams. But I think this would be worthwhile. The only one of these that's super hard to gear up is Spy. However, the other two do use a bit of stun cuffs and stun guns, but depending on where you are in the game, you might be able to get those really fast. So either focus on getting bounty hunters up or geos up. I think either way, it's worth you getting Sunfact up. It's always nice having more tanks, I find, in all areas of the game that I feel like I'm always low on tanks, and comparatively I have plenty of attackers. And just some other ships that I want to point out as being good. Lando's Millennium Falcons makes a decent 4th reinforcement, just like Phantom makes a good 1st. Lando's is a good 4th. Biston's U-Wing is often used as a replacement ship for TIE Advanced. If you're going to go Bounty Hunters, if you want, you can go IG-2000. And the new Anakin's ETA is a pretty good ship. But overall, it looks like you're doing decent. Just you need to probably work on gearing up some characters out of some of your currently higher up ships. And Ghost and Phantom are both excellent ships. I think they're, even though they're mentioned a lot, they appear underrated. And just work on Geos or your bounty hunters so that you're able to in the future get ahead. I hope this helps you out, Unreal. Again, I want to re-emphasize the fleet I'm suggesting for you to currently use in ships, especially is Chimera with TIE Advance, Biggs, and either Ghost or Imperial TIE Fighter for defense and TIE Silencer for offense. And then for reinforcements, once you get the ability maxed out, definitely use Phantom 2. You can go ahead and use it if you want, but it won't be as good. Slave 1, TIE Reaper, and Poe Dameron's X-Wing, though if you find there's a different ship that works better, the Poe Dameron slot for you, go ahead and insert it on in. But if you have any questions for me, Unreal, reach out. I think that you're, again, at a point where you can start focusing on trying to get your fleet up since you're doing really well in Arena. So, if anyone else needs ship roster reviews, just reach out to me and have a good day. Talk to you later.